Shalom, and welcome to Tov, the English news channel. We have with us today Gilad Katz, a former Israeli consul to the U.S. Southwest and a former advisor to Prime Minister Netanyahu. Shalom, Gilad.
Shalom to you and to all your viewers.
I'd like to ask you a little bit about what's going on in the United States right now, with the focus on Israel, of course. Is Israel facing problems getting aid, continued aid to fight this war? Are there tensions in Congress, in the administration about this subject?
Well, it's important first and foremost, it's important to say that this issue is an internal issue. It regards to the politics in the United States. It's got nothing to do with Israel. Israel is an outside player. And the question has to be actually asked by the American, I would say, congressmen, senators, and whoever who relates to that decision. But to your question, I don't think there's a problem. I think that the issue is, as I said, there's a tension between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party on issues regarding to Israel and to Ukraine, regarding, of course, the aid. And due to that dispute between them, it looks like Israel is, is on the lines. So it's very, very important for everyone to understand how things work. It's got nothing to do with Israel. This is a political issue that will be solved by the American politicians. In the meantime, as we all know, the White House, the administration, the president himself is a very keen advocate of Israel. He is a true a friend of ours. And up to now, as we all know, for the past almost 100 days, almost 3 months, almost every request that we have requested, that we have actually sent to the administration, we received a positive answer. So I would like to everyone to calm down. There's no such an issue. It's politics, and this is how things work. Hopefully, it will be solved very quickly, and once it will be solved, then we'll be behind that.
So you're saying that the whole issue is basically part of the new isolationism we're seeing in the United States on the right wing, that there are many Republicans who don't want the United States to be involved in any wars anywhere right now, not in Ukraine and not in Israel.
No, I don't think that's the issue. I know that there are a few politicians that think that, but that's not the issue. I think the thing is this. The Americans are on the verge of an of the elections, of actually the primaries. And we all know this is how politics works. Once you're in primaries, you have to think of, or any politician has to think of when he takes any measures or decisions, he has to think not only about the decision himself, but about the politics that involve that decision. Therefore, this is something that, on usual days, I wouldn't even think it's an issue. Now, since we here in Israel are in the midst of a war, then we think that, who knows how it will have an impact on us. As I said, this is a political issue. It's got nothing to do with Israel. It's got nothing to do with Israel's policy. Therefore, I don't think it's something that we should even talk about, because we have no influence on it.
So Israel has traditionally and now also enjoyed bipartisan support in Congress. Except for a few outliers in the Democratic Party, we have wall-to-wall support in both houses, I believe. And we heard a very, very impassioned pro-Israel speech from Chuck Schumer, who is the leading Democrat in the Senate. And of course, Mike Johnson in the House of Representatives is a very, very staunch supporter of Israel. So where is the problem? Why are we hearing certain undercurrents coming that that our support may be in danger?
It's not in danger. What I'm saying is that since there is a dispute between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, they have to solve it. It's got nothing to do with Israel. It's something that has got to do with the internal political system in the United States. And since they are on the verge of the primaries, therefore the steam has gone up, and we will just have to wait and see how things will turn out. I think that we will see the solution in very soon. I don't want to say if it will be a week, 2 weeks, or a little more. I don't know, but I don't see any danger for the aid that is supposed to come to Israel. The president himself said so. Many Democratic and Republican politicians have repeated once and time again, saying that they stand and support Israel. I don't see any danger reflecting Israel. What we see is a political issue, and just like we have our political issues, it takes time for them to be solved. It will be solved, please God, and once it's solved, we will see, hopefully, all the aid that was promised by the administration, by the president. We will receive it here in Israel, and it will all be forgotten.
But what about if there is a humanitarian crisis in Gaza? What would happen then? Could that affect Israel's aid?
Well, Israel is doing its best to prevent such a humanitarian crisis. But as I always say so, and I think the government and the prime minister says so, the finger has to be pointed to the Hamas. The Hamas is the problem. It's got nothing to do with Israel. If tomorrow the Hamas will put down all its arms and surrender, we will see everything. We'll see everything. All of a sudden, the war will stop. Why? Because the Hamas started the war with the mega massacre on the 7th of October. Israel has the obligation of defending its citizens, and we will hunt down each and every Hamas that we know that took part in that massacre, and we will hunt down their leadership. It's up to them. The Palestinians have to take control of their own fate and their destiny. Unfortunately, they don't do so, and that's why they are facing very, I would say, disturbing times. But it's up to them. If, as I said, if today, the Hamas will surrender, I promise you that until the fall down, we will see Israel stop all its military activity. But that's up to the Hamas.
Okay, let me ask you one more question about the United States. What do you think Trump's chances are of winning the primary and winning the election?
Well, that's the $1 million question. No doubt that today Trump is leading by far in all the polls. So it's still too early to establish how things will turn out. Trump has issued his issues with the investigations, and that may be a little problem for him. And in the other, I would say, candidates, I think that Nikki Haley, the former ambassador to the UN, is now, I would say, leading. She's the second place after Trump. She's leading the rest in all the polls. But as I said, it's still too early, and Trump is leading by, I think, 2 digits in any poll regarding the Republican Party. So if the elections would have taken place today, I think Trump would have won. But since the primaries are only starting next month, actually beginning of 2024, in a few weeks, only then we can start establishing and seeing how things will turn out. It's going to be a very interesting 6 months regarding the Republican Party. And I just would like to remind everyone, we still don't know if the President Biden will run for the presidency. He hasn't yet, or I would say, the Democratic Party hasn't yet decided or finalized. So we still have to wait to see who will be the candidate for the Democratic Party. So it's going to be very interesting in the coming months.
Okay, thank you very much to Gilad Katz, and thank you to our viewers. Don't forget to subscribe to all our channels on Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, of course. Shalom.